Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse. The next 60 days are going to be critical for preparedness for you and your family. The world is shaking right now. There's a lot going on. The financial sectors are reeling. We're currently in conflict with Iran, and the greater Middle East is destabilized. There's a lot going on. The next 60 days are going to make a big difference, I think, for you and your family if you take steps now to be prepared and to take stock of what you got. We're going to go over these things today and hopefully give you some ideas. Let's get started. All right, friends. So here's the reality. We are now involved in more conflict in the Middle East, and there are several issues that are happening. And whether we get into the team red, team blue, and should we be there, whatnot, the reality is that we're there, and there are real impacts of the situation in Iran that frankly are not being talked about, that are going to have drastic implications for us in the near future. But this is really not even the majority of what's going on. This may be the straw that breaks the camel's back, but there are other key factors that are happening in the financials and the labor market. We need to be aware of this and what's going on. So first things first, I want to contextualize where we are within current events within the span of history before going forward into the checklist that I want to give you in order to safeguard your family moving forward into 2026 and give you some things to check over yourself. If you've been in preparedness for a while, if you're brand new, this video is going to help you. So stay all the way to the end because we're going to cover things that you should be looking at, rechecking, evaluating. Do your systems still work? Do you have what you need to have? Does what you have still function? Is it expired? Is it not? We're going to cover that. But first, we have to look at where we're at right now. So the issues with Iran, okay, they're happening within the greater milieu of globalized de-dollarization. That is, the world is less and less seeking to transact in our dollars. The world less and less wants to transact in our dollars. And they are effectively de-dollarizing. They're getting rid of the dollar. They are shifting away into hard assets. I think it's very obvious based on the gold imports that a lot of sovereign nations are doing right now. They are bringing gold. They are rehoming their gold that they had previously had offshore. All of the situation with Iran and all of the ramifications that come from that has to be viewed first within the economic context rather than the political, because really political is just an extension of the economic. The reality is, friends, that several months ago, I made a video where I was really warning about the May-June timeframe. And the reason for this is because our Federal Reserve Bank, our central bank in the United States, the non-elected bureaucratic cabal of bankers, has continued their monetary easing. They have continued the money printing. They have turned it back on to the tune of $40 billion a month that they are adding to the liquidity effectively. And whenever you expand the money supply, more money chasing the same effective amount of assets increases the cost of those assets, those goods, those commodities. So I want you to hold this right here in one hand and then put up Iran and the Strait of Hormuz issues over here. So the main thing that a lot of people are talking about right now and why this is so important that you track with me, pay attention to this, please. People are talking about oil primarily, the cost of oil, $100 a barrel, above $100 a barrel, and how this is affecting the price at the pump. That is the surface layer of the impacts that come from the Strait of Hormuz being blocked. Let me develop this a little bit more for you. The Strait of Hormuz sees so much of the world's shipping lane. And I'm probably not telling you anything you don't know in regards to oil, but did you know also that a significant amount of the world's nitrogen supplies go through there? Sulfur supplies, copper extraction, and cobalt. All of these things are going through the Straits of Hormuz. And if this doesn't get through, more than just gasoline prices are affected. Does anybody know, and maybe you can answer in the comment section, what are the key products that nitrogen is used to produce? Explosives are one of them, but also fertilizer, chemicals that are used in the production of agriculture, large commercial agriculture. So whether this is the oil not getting through, it's more than just the oil. It's all of the products used, for instance, in manufacturing of microchips and semiconductors and the byproducts of the industrial agricultural supply chain. All of this is getting affected by the shipping issues with the Strait of Hormuz. So regardless of whether or not asset prices were going to go up anyway, meaning food prices, medicine prices, lots of pretty much everything that you need to complete your activities of daily living, all of that was going up anyway because the Fed just keeps printing more money. But now that the shipping lanes are shut down with the Strait of Hormuz, and let's say even that they get them open, the uncertainty of this transit is definitely going to affect asset prices. And it's going to make things more unstable. And there's one thing that markets don't like, and that is instability and unpredictability. When you put on top of this horrendous job reports numbers that came out, and also the CPI coming out, which it's the CPI, everybody knows it's just effectively like a fantasy. It has about the same veracity as a romance novel. But when you look at the CPI that they just released, the numbers that they just released, it's still going up. The inflation rate is still going up. Food is still up over 3%. Medicine is still up, I think, over 4%. Home health care is up. Candy is up like 11%. Not that I'm advocating candy, but I'm pointing out this issue here, that prices are still rising and they're outpacing. And this is the official numbers, right? They're outpacing inflation. So I'm sharing this with you right now to contextualize our moves forward in the next bet. And what you're hearing here from me is not panic. This is urgency. And I'm pleading with people to prepare and to be ready, because the reality is, friends, that if you don't have your plan together, and if you don't have some of these staples already covered, you're going to be in for a world of hurt. And I don't wish that on people. And I'm hoping that you'll listen to this broadcast today and take steps accordingly. So we've talked about where we're at. We've talked about what's going on. The reality is that further disruption, de-dollarization, and an increase in money supply is going to make everything that much more expensive, combined with the global uncertainty that we're seeing. So the next 60 days are going to make a difference, I think, between your family being well provided for and having to scrape through. And I do want to add, actually, a little bit of an encouragement here, that my faith is in the Lord and his covenant and his promises to protect and provide for his people. And I believe that. And that's where I camp out at. So we can do everything possible within our power, but I recognize that a lot of people are on shoestring budgets as it is. And you're basically on a wing and a prayer every week when you go and get groceries. So I know that the Lord's math doesn't necessarily line up with the world's math. He says one of you will chase 1,000 and two of you will chase 10,000. So God's math isn't linear, and it doesn't scale according to our heads. It scales according to what he says, which is a very reassuring thing in times like this. So the checklist I want to go over with you, given all of these things. The first is you need to stack your food. Now, I know that we've spoken about this before, but I really want to hone in on a couple of things with you today. Regardless of the tariff issue, like being here or there, the reality is that oil being expensive is going to make transportation that much more expensive. So any foodstuff, any item, period, that comes in that has multiple segments and further away that it has to come to you and use oil to get there, it's going to be more expensive. Specifically, coffee and spices, anything that is imported beef, anything that is brought to this country, you're going to pay a premium for. And particularly when it comes to the things that we use every day, a lot of us drink coffee and a lot of us love coffee. A lot of us love to use different types of spices. Those are going to become probably much more expensive. I don't see any way that they won't become more expensive with the aforementioned things that we've covered. So take a look at what you've got and see, is it enough to cover you for the next really 3 to 6 months? And if you can look at what you're using and try and go ahead and source those things ahead of time, I think it's going to serve you well. So stack your food, whatever you can, extra. If you go to the store, grab an extra thing of beans, an extra can of beans. Avail yourself of discounted food stores like grocery outlets in your area and shop those places first. Then build your grocery list accordingly. Number 2, the medicine that you use. So again, the CPI report came out and medicine is continuing to rise. The cost of goods and services for the medical industrial complex is going to continue to rise. So the medicines that you use regularly, see if you can either stock up on them, get them discount through generic programs, or use the resources in your area to assist you in driving that cost down to be able to store more if you can. Now, some medicines you're not going to be able to do that with, but it's worth a shot, because the prices are not going to go down. Certainly when you're looking at a lot of our pharmaceuticals that come from India, when they're getting shipped here to the United States, what are they using? Oil. They are using supplies that are petrochemical derivatives to get here. So anything that utilizes those things is going to become more expensive. Even if everything clears up with the Straits of Hormuz, the de-dollarization and the reality of inflation is still going to eat into it. So you better take care of that. Also, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the overall cost of healthcare goods and services in general, but it's going up, going up, going up. It's not going to slow down. The best way that you can insulate yourself against those costs is to not need them in the first place, which is why I teach my online courses and why the back catalog available here of my videos on YouTube for free is a great place to start to really familiarize yourself with skills and also medical supplies that you can store up. Number 3, I want you to go ahead and review your family bug out bags. So you should have a bug out bag for each person, certainly for your children, certainly for your children. When you're looking at the things that they need, this is effectively a 72-hour bag. If you had to pick it up and go, would they have everything they need? And in particular, if you have small children or grandchildren, make sure that their diapering needs, their toileting needs are taken care of and that they have at least one comfort item. That comfort item is really important. Now, for the Patreon supporters, I'm going to be listing on my Patreon page. I'm going to give you guys a checklist so that way you have an expanded version to print off and then go down the list and see, okay, did I do this? Did I do this? Do I have this? That's what I have for you guys on the Patreon page. If you're interested in joining the Patreon, then you could totally do that. There's a link in the description box below. It's a great way to follow me and also interact with some really awesome people. Number 4 is to plan your garden. So no matter what, being able to grow your own food is a very important skill set to have in general, but also it's really insulates you against the cost and increase in produce. Because again, the further it has to come to you, the more expensive it's going to be. And we want to be able to ensure that our family has good quality nutrition, regardless of what the oil prices do, regardless of what inflation brings. We want to make sure that we have the ability to produce something. So look at your growing season, look at what grows well in your area, plan and execute your garden accordingly. And as best as you can, try and cycle for multiple crops so you can do successive plantings. You don't just have to do one planting at a time. You can stagger in 2 and 4 weeks so that way you have a continuous supply of food throughout the year. Number 5 is to review your grocery and utility bills with a fine-tooth comb. Now, friends, thanks to all these AI data centers that are springing up everywhere and robbing farmers of their farmland and people of their peace, tranquility, and pretty much everything else that they need to exist on this earth, the data centers are driving up the cost of utilities for people. Not only water, but electricity for sure. So what I really want you to do is to look at your utility usage and see where that disparity is. A lot of people are experiencing awful increases in their cost of basically just lights and heating. And the summer is coming up. So if you're in warmer areas, you know that your AC bill is going to go up. You need to make sure that you have really dialed in what you can afford and really where things are at. It may be that you just can't afford to keep the house at the comfortable levels that it was, that you may have to sweat a little bit in the house and you may have to put on a few more layers. And I'm not saying this as someone who's saying, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. I'm just saying, if we're going to give all these corporate tax breaks to data centers that are crafting AI to displace people and then taxing the citizenry to support their own economic displacement, then we're going to be up for a violent revolution. There's no question about that. So like by hook or by crook, we need to be able to keep the lights on. We need to know how much we're spending. And we also need to know what we can triage out. Because if you can know, for instance, what you can triage out to make your bill less overall, it'll help you feel more resilient should you not have electricity in the first place. Number 6 is to start saving something in non-dollars each month. Now, there are many different ways to do this. I'm not giving financial advice. I am telling you what I do. And what I'm doing is a diversification program where I have different precious metals that I focus on depending on what I have each month. And the opportunities really are there for people to buy in based on what you have. Lead, if you want to defend yourself. Copper, if you want to be able to buy groceries. Silver, if you want to be able to buy anything else. And then gold, if you want to be able to buy a house. So here's the reality, friends. The dollar is dying. And our Federal Reserve is printing more of it. This is not going to get fixed. And I'm telling you, like we all know this when we look at the debt clock and see how horrendous it is. They are not going to fix this. This is not going to get fixed. They are going to attempt to inflate the sovereign debt away. And in doing so, they are going to impoverish the vast majority of people and leave a smidgen of people at the top who know the head and the inside of things before everybody else. They're going to make them extremely wealthy. So The reality is that when inflation takes over to this degree, things get very uncertain, and we need to be able to ensure that we have a way to preserve our labor. That's really what wealth is. Like, wealth is banked labor. And if you can't preserve your labor and it just whittles away and evaporates, then you can't pay for things like your family's needs. So make sure that you have the ability to transact in something besides dollars. Number 7, the last one, is to clean, declutter, and organize. My great-grandmother had a saying, when you clean, you find. And so when you clean, you may find that you don't need to buy new things. You may also find that you have duplicates that you can sell of something. You may also find that, for instance, you have a whole bunch of junk that is doing nothing for you but taking up space, and effectively you are paying in your own labor to clean, to dust, to catalog, to inventory each month. If you're not using it and it hasn't served you well over the past 6 months to a year, it probably doesn't need to be there, with the exception of your long-term shelf-stable food storage. Another reality is that if you are constantly trying to find things because you have so much clutter and so much stuff, it's going to raise your cortisol levels. It's going to make you feel more stressed, and we don't need more stress right now. We need less stress. We need more clarity, and having your home clean and organized is really going to help you. And I put that one at the last because nobody wants to do that, but it's true. Because if you do this, you're going to find that you probably don't need to buy some of the things that you were. So those are the 7 things on the checklist, friends, and I hope that it was helpful for you today. The reality is, guys, I've talked about this for a while, and we are rapidly coming up upon it. We are going to have our day of reckoning. And one of the things that has concerned me as of late, really over the past couple weeks, is we are seeing some major shifts in the private credit world. So major companies like JP Morgan now, and also BlackRock and Blue Owl, they are limiting the redemptions from their private credit funds. The financial markets are really telling a tale right now that is eerily similar to the end of 2007, beginning of 2008. And that is, we are starting to see the cracks in the dam with the private credit funds. Now, if you've been paying attention to this, you probably already know what I'm talking about, and that is that major companies, including BlackRock and JP Morgan, now are limiting the redemptions out of their private credit funds because they've had so many of these loans effectively go from like, yeah, these are great, these are solid loans, down to like, no, they're not, they're worth nothing, because we loan to people who are high risk. And so this is what's happening, friends, is as these cracks in the dam start, it's usually just a few more little bits of pressure that cause everything to go. So we've been talking about this for a while, friends. I made a video several months ago, basically giving this time frame of May, June for things to really start to kick into high gear. And when we look at where we're at today, which is in March, April, May, 60 days, guys, like, you really need to hustle to make sure your bases are covered on this. Because if we start seeing the significant corrections that I think we will in the financial system, this thing can spiral very, very quickly. And when you consider what we've talked about today, I think that if you follow the checklist and if you go over these issues and you pay attention to these things and you implement these strategies, that's going to help your family do better. And that's my hope. And my hope is that if you got value out of this video, that one of your friends, one of your family, a co-worker, somebody else in your life will get value as well. So please make sure and share this video with one person to really wake people up, to get people like that fire under the rear end. You do not want to wait on this. You do not want to wait. You do not want to be caught on a back foot on this one. Be providentially preparing right now so that way you won't have to sweat as much 60 days from now. If you'd like to know what I'm doing on my end to prepare and also get a hold of that checklist, you can visit the Patreon page, and that link is in the description box below. My Patreon supporters are amazing people, and we have an incredible community over there, so it's a great place to follow and be a part of. If you're not subscribed and you'd like to stay with me, make sure and subscribe. It is free to subscribe, remember that. And also click that bell button to make sure that you get notifications. I'm not going to spam you. I'm not going to make like 70 videos a week. It's not my thing. I only say something when I have something important to say. Have a great weekend, guys. Give your family a hug and a squeeze, and know that the Lord is sitting on the throne and we're just his servants. And our responsibility is to be about the Father's business. So be about his business, love someone, and act providentially to make sure that you can be in a position of blessing. May the Lord bless and keep you all. For now, it's Patriot Nurse signing off. I'll see y'all later. Bye.